Adam Peaty, 1 silver medal? What if one country won all the medals? The 1908 London Olympics was the wackiest Olympics ever! In 1908, Britain hosted the Olympics and won all the medals. You see, on average, Britain will win 32 medals at an Olympic Games. In 2012, the last time we hosted it, we won 65 medals. That's massive. In 1908, though, we won 146 medals. That's insane.
Of great historical significance for London.
We weren't meant to even be hosting the Olympics. The 1908 Olympics were meant to be held in Rome.
Well, now there's been an eruption.
Mount Vesuvius had exploded. Britain stepped in and saved the day at the very last minute. We built a massive stadium in West London at the White City. The weather, though, was awful, but 130,000 people crammed in most days into that White City stadium. It rained continuously, and it rained gold medals. Today, the one thing that we all can agree about the British is that we love a rule. We abide by the rules. We play by the rules. Not so much in 1908. You see, for the very first and only time, the IOC allowed Britain to set its own rules. It also allowed us to pick all the umpires and all the referees. No opportunity was lost by Britain to award herself medals. We even picked the sports. Rackets is a sport. It's a bit like squash. 7 people entered. They were all British. The winner got a gold medal, second place got a silver medal. All the other entrants were given a bronze medal. 7 medals for Great Britain. I've won all the medals! No one else plays real tennis.
Yeah, you gotta serve it up on the roof, and it's gotta land in this green square.
On the roof.
You're making this up, right?
On the roof!
You can't be serious.
Britain dominated. No one else plays lacrosse either. We dominated that one too. All the medals! In 1908, Britain was an empire. We were a superpower. Our king was an emperor. We could do whatever we wanted to.
Well, we want to be free. We want to be free to do what we want to do.
Normally, we enter as one team. Great Britain, Team GB. In 1908, not so much. We entered as Great Britain, mostly, but we also entered as the individual home nations. Sometimes that was just to make the numbers up. Sometimes it wasn't. Field hockey wasn't an international sport in 1908. England won the gold, Ireland won the silver, Scotland and Wales were joint third and were awarded bronze. All 4 medals are recorded by the IOC as going to Great Britain. Still, to this day. In the polo, there were 3 teams, 2 British teams and an Irish team. There were only 2 games. The 2 English teams played each other and the winner played the Irish in the final. Britain got the gold and Britain got the silver and Ireland got the silver too. Officially, Great Britain got all 3 medals. In 1908, America sent 112 athletes to London. Russia sent 6. Argentina sent 1. In 1908, we sent 676 British athletes to the Games. We dominated. Just to put that into perspective, in 2024, we sent less than half that to Paris, just 327 athletes. We won all the gold medals for the tennis, and the rowing, and the powerboat racing, and the wrestling, and the bicycle polo. Britain won all but 1 of the cycling golds and 4 of the 6 swimming golds. And we won the football, beating Denmark 2-0. In 1908, football came home. In the archery, we won 2 of the 3 golds and 6 of the 9 available medals. The water polo was wonderfully weird. Britain automatically qualified for the final. Well, of course she did. She played 1 game and won the gold. All the medals. The 1908 London Olympics were held in London. Well, mostly. In the 12-metre sailing race, our best boats were moored in Scotland, so we held the event there. No one else was told, no one else turned up, so we raced ourselves. And we won all the medals. We won gold, silver and bronze in the tug of war. Our team wore boots with nails in the heels. The Americans complained. They said we were cheating. We were, but the British umpires ruled it was fine. 22 other nations turned up and we did let them win some stuff. Of course we did. Some of the events though were plain weird. Dueling with guns was probably the weirdest. Contestants stood 20 metres apart, turned and shot each other with pistols. The bullets were made of wax, still deadly. They wore protective iron helmets with plate glass at the front so they could see. Not toughened glass, not shatterproof glass, plate glass. Dueling with guns, the French won that. The pole vault was dangerous too, no crash mats. The world record holder Walter Dre wasn't allowed to compete because his mum said it was too dangerous. The boxing was fun. There were 5 weight divisions. An Australian guy called Reginald Snowy Baker won a silver medal in the middleweight division, and Britain won everything else. All the gold medals. Snowy Baker was extraordinary. He took part in the boxing, the swimming and the diving. 3 events at one Olympics. A real showman. Everybody loved him. After the Olympics, he moved to Hollywood and became a silent era movie star. To this very day, the 1908 Olympics is the longest ever. It ran officially from the 27th of April to the 31st of October. 6 months. Most teams turned up at the end of April and left at the end of May. In October, the Australian rugby team turned up. Their first international tour. The British press called them the Wallabies. In theory, the Olympics were still on, so we invited the Australians for a game. We didn't have a British team, so we got them to play Cornwall. The Australians won that game, but we got a silver medal. The ice skating couldn't be held until October because, well, you need ice. Most of the teams had gone home, but we persuaded a few to come back. This was the first Olympics to have a winter sport. Only 3 people entered the men's special figure skating, so all 3 were guaranteed to win medals. 2 were British, the 3rd was Russian. The first ever Olympic medal for a Russian. That was the start of something. You've got to remember that this time the Olympics wasn't a big deal. The London Olympics was only the 4th Olympics ever. The first modern Olympics had been in 1896. Wasn't a big deal. The 1900 Paris Games were a total flop. The 1904 St. Louis Games? Nobody turned up. Nobody. The Olympics just weren't working. But the London Olympics of 1908 was huge. 22 nations competed, and there was great sport too. It made the headlines. Without 1908, we wouldn't have the Olympics today. Baron Pierre de Coubertin was the father of the modern Olympics. He was bitterly opposed to having women compete. Just to spite the French, the 1908 Olympics was the first to allow women athletes. 37 women competed in the archery, the ice skating, and the gymnastics, including Sybil Queenie Newman, who at the age of 53 is still the oldest woman to win an archery gold. She beat the favourite, a woman called Lottie Dodd. Lottie won Wimbledon 5 times. She won the British Golf Championship. She played hockey for England. She even has a pub named after her. Pierre de Coubertin saw Lottie and Queenie never complained about women competing ever again. The 1908 London Olympics were the very first to have a purpose-built stadium, the White City. It was huge, bigger than Wembley Stadium. The 1908 London Olympics was the first proper modern Olympics. There was a cycle track, an Olympic-sized swimming pool, the football pitch. It was the first purpose-built modern stadium, although putting the pool right next to the football pitch did turn out to be a mistake. You see, Baron Pierre de Coubertin, father of the Olympics was there. He saw it all, and what he saw at the London Games in 1908 changed everything. The London Olympics was the first to have gold medals, the first to have massive, enthusiastic crowds despite the appalling weather, the first to have women competing. Perhaps most importantly for the future of the Olympics, the London Games were properly organised and crucially, it turned a profit, £6,378 to be precise. But the British had taught the IOC not only how to organise a successful Games, we'd taught them something way more valuable. You see, Britain hadn't won all the medals, just most of them. By October 1908, Britain had 56 golds, 51 silver, 39 bronze, 146 medals in total. All the medals! All the medals! All the medals! To celebrate, they held a grand banquet in London. Baron Pierre de Coubertin, the father of the modern Olympics, made a very famous speech.
Ladies and gentlemen,
He stood up and looked around at all those foreign presidents, kings, ministers, heads of state and said, you know, the important thing in the Olympic Games, it isn't the winning, it's the taking part. All the medals! All the medals! All the medals! All the gold medals! All the medals! In your face, Adam Peaty, 1 silver. Look at me!